Hey, you guys, and welcome to Act Real Studio Lounge. We are here today with the fabulous Nanciann.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. This is so exciting what you're doing with Act Real because I'm real and you're real. And I just think life should be real. Every day we should have fun and improvise and enjoy your moments because you know what? I heard that that's what it's all about. We don't get any more moments. So enjoy every moment.
That's right. I completely agree. And I get really excited about doing this because I get to hang out with people like you who are going to give such great insight and so much fun. And so when I was doing improv, they would just I realize it's like such a part of everything.
It is.
Every part of the industry, anything you want to do, you have to know improv, whether it's voiceover or commercial acting or even on set. Like I'm prop master. Gotta give a shout out to
That's right.
Jack and Diane. And very excited about that prop master gig. My first feature film. That's what I mean. Like just so much fun stuff we can talk about. We're gonna get into so many things here on Act because really it's about giving yourself opportunities, right?
That's right.
To just do different things and explore.
Uh-huh.
And so you wouldn't normally think that a casting director is gonna teach or be a prop master or set designer. But I think as a creative entrepreneur, right?
Right.
We're gonna do whatever we want to do.
And the more things you do on the set, I've learned that, then it gets you different jobs. So I was an actor, a nurse, an improv teacher, and then they said, wait, would you be our baby nurse? Because did you know on sets they have a teacher and a baby nurse, and we're there for safety. So I've done that on soap operas. Can you believe that?
Wow, you really do have a very impressive background. And so let's get into that a little bit.
Okay.
Tell people about where you got started,
Okay,
and how you got into all these really cool, like, not many people end up being a baby set nurse, you know?
That
Like,
just happened because, as you know, with this business, you do this and this
yes,
and this.
yeah,
So I've
hello.
always said acting and nursing. I lived in New York City. I worked at Radio City Music Hall, and then I worked for an oncologist. So there's always jobs acting and nursing. And then I was in off Broadway. And if this group doesn't want you, they always want you here at the hospital. Then I came to LA, joined the union, started working on soap operas. Me on a soap. Could you believe it?
Yes, yes.
And then they said, wait, you're a real nurse. Wait, we need you for this and we need you for that. And then I got into the baby nurse stuff.
Wow.
But then all along, when I was a cardiac nurse at UCLA, I found out that people would hold things in and it affects their emotions, affects their heart, their liver, their gut. And I'm like, well, with improv, you just live in the moment. So that's why I started my business, Improv for Health. And that's what we're going to talk about, using improv every day. Go outside, talk to people. Don't be afraid to say things. Did you know Michael J. Fox, who has Parkinson's, he says we have to increase our GNH. Do you know what that is?
GNH.
It's not something you take in
Good
a bottle.
neighbor.
You're close. Gross national happiness. That's what we all need. Gross national happiness every day. And Michael J. Fox, we all know he's been through a heck of a lot.
Yeah.
So every day he says, just go out and talk to people, live in the moment. Don't edit yourself so much. I mean, I know sometimes when you have the script, you have to say these words.
I think I might need some editing. I think sometimes, you know, those of us who get very excited like to talk. And
I do too.
and sometimes less is best. I've
Yes.
learned that, especially on set.
Especially on set. And I bring in the medical aspects, like when we hold things in, it ages us and it shortens our telomeres. We have these protective end caps in our brains. And people think as you age, they have to just, you know, shred and go away. But there's things you could do to bring them back together. Did you know that? Do you want to know what the big one is that people don't like? They hate this one. No multitasking people. People who multitask are shortening their brains.
Okay, hold. Okay.
It's
now,
really...
okay, we have to talk about the multitasking. Now, I know that super successful people have a routine. Do you have a routine?
Yes, I do.
And when you have a routine or you're doing multiple projects, how do you strategize your time and prioritize?
I don't drive with the phone on.
Multitasking is the only way can figure out how to get multiple things done.
We all multitask at some time. That's true. But one really, really bad thing is when people set the alarm and they do snooze, ching, 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 because that shortens your brain cells. So that's something that I never do.
Really?
I
don't hit the snooze.
Oh, never do. No.
Oh, that's some good information.
No, don't hit the snooze.
Right? Don't hit the snooze.
And I'm one of those people, if I set the alarm for 5, guess what happens? At 4:30, I'll jump up. Or if I set the alarm for 6, at 5:30, I'll jump up. My brain is just like, I don't really need an alarm. But again, there's things you can do. And you got to get your sleep every night, 6 to 7 hours. I know in this business it's hard, but 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is your best brain sleep.
So a lot of times when you get those calls, it's like I'm on set at, like, I have to drive an hour and a half and you have to be there at 6 o'clock.
Right.
Which means you're in your car at 4:30, which means you're up at 4. And let's say you're serving, waiting tables, and you pulled a night shift, so you didn't get done till 2 and you don't sleep. I remember when I was working at some of my shows, I would be producing and I would run out of time and I'd have to shoot the next day. And I'd go home, I'd take a shower, and then I'd go back to work.
And we all have our
like,
little...
And I didn't sleep. And I would not sleep for like 2 or 3 days.
That's not good. That's bad for your brain.
I promise you I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone.
No. And we all have those things, like I use oils, and I could fall asleep in my car if, like, I'll get to the set early, and I go, I'll tell the guards, I'm going to sleep in my car, so don't bang on my window. I'm here an hour early, and I planned it that way, because it's like I plan to be early. Right. So don't plan to, because things happen on the road, you know? And then the other thing about improvisation is when we go on auditions, a lot of times they'll give you lines, and guess what they do? They pull the lines and say, okay, make it up as you go. I love those kind. Some people don't like those kind of auditions. They want to follow the script, not me. I'm like, thank you. So I did have a big commercial. It ran a couple of years ago. It was a global commercial, and I made lots of money, and all I had to do was improvise and play a nurse. Duh, I could do that.
Wow. So I remember hearing a story about Lisa Kudrow, and she was talking about Friends and how she had got one part and then they had her come back for another part.
Yes.
And she kept reading it over and over again. But the other people didn't like the improv and they were just huffing and puffing. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that sense of entitlement is just ridiculous when you want a job. Like, don't even trip. If they ask you to do it, it's because we like you.
That's right. That's right.
But that's what I mean about that energy you bring into the room that just crushes the spirit.
And they'll see sometimes, they'll say, wait a minute, you're not good for that part. You're good for this part. And people need to say, okay, and just jump out and don't argue with them. Say, oh, okay, they see me as
just try it. And that's the other thing is getting outside your comfort zone. And with Acro Studio and the improv, that is why I'm so excited about this.
Thank you. Yes, we're going to give you all that skill.
You're going to kill it. And not only that, see, the difference what Nanciann does is that it's not just improv. No. It's improv for health, you guys. Like our mental well-being and jumping into all these different roles and all the pressure that we put on ourselves mostly, but that's another conversation, will just really like stifle our creative energy, you know, and our juice. So I really think that understanding how to disconnect from that role, but be comfortable enough in the moment. But I think
and improv is a muscle too. Remember what I told you? The more you flex that muscle every day, it gets easier.
You see them?
Oh, look at her. It's a muscle. Improv is a muscle. And the first rule of improv, do you know what it is? Never say no but. Say yes and. Yes and.
We should try some a little bit.
It's wonderful.
Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and we'll do some yes and.
We'll show you guys how to do yes and.
Yes and.
Thank you.
With Nanciann.
Yes and with Nanciann. I love it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Acro Studio.
Acro.
Lounge.
Be real. Join our Real.
Well, you know they could join our Be Real too.
That's right.
We are on Be Real. So if you're part of the Acro Studio Lounge, you know, subscribers, we would absolutely love you to come into our Be Real. We actually are the antithesis to likes and checks and social gratification.
We will walk you through point A to point Z, because there's a lot to learn in this business. There's the business part, the fun part, the healthy part. So we will bring you from A to Z.
And we have so many instructors, yourself, and so much fun stuff to make sure that, because we want to focus on the business of entertainment, right? Because entertainment is a complete business. It's not just the audition and the headshot and getting the job. It's so much more than that. And there's so much more ahead. There's so many changes that are
And
happening.
you have to know all this along with your family. You know, you may know it, but then you have to tell mom and dad and uncle, oh, I didn't know that was included. So there's a lot in the business, the biz of the biz.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. Thank you for watching us. We appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.